Hello, hello, good evening. YBE, Year of the Black Entrepreneur. Welcome to another day of 28 days of Black entrepreneurship, highlighting local Black entrepreneurs. I'm excited. My name is Kimberly Winborn. My company is Kimberly Winborn, LLC. I am also the founder of Coffee and Collaborations Media. I'm excited to be here. I've been a part of Triangle Entrepreneur Leadership since its beginning, and now excited to be a part of the movement that is YBE, Year of the Black Entrepreneur. You guys, if you haven't heard about it, make sure you stay close, pay attention, because you're going to want to be a part of it. This next guest that we are featuring, this entrepreneur who we are featuring this evening, is dynamic. She is dynamic. She is a humble spirit with a powerful blow of impact in the community. I'm telling you, you're going to love her. Her name is Vickie Parker. Hi. We actually had the opportunity to have her in the Triangle Entrepreneur Leadership November virtual conference as a speaker. So I'm excited to see her this evening. Year of the Black Entrepreneur. Like I said the other day when I was one of the featured highlights for the evening, that is such a powerful, powerful thing. Hey Trina, it is such a powerful thing. The Year of the Black Entrepreneur. If you didn't know that you were born to win, this is your year as an entrepreneur who is Black, who is doing something in the community, who has a voice. This is your year. So now, just from being a part of this movement, you will move forward. As long as you say yes, you will move forward. So can we bring in our guest so we don't belay the time? Hey, Vickie.
Hi, Kimberly. You hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you and I see you just fine. You look beautiful.
Oh, so do you. So do you.
Thank you. So we had an opportunity to chat behind the scenes, and now it's all about you. It is absolutely all about you. So let's find out in this 15, 20 minutes or so of power time with Vickie Parker High, the executive director of the North Carolina Business Council. So we understand that the Business Council has a story about how it was founded. Can you tell us how it was started and a little bit about the mission?
Sure. Well, first, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Ryan. I want to thank you and your entire team. I'm so excited to be a part of the Year of the Black Entrepreneur. I was there when he announced it a few months ago when he shared his vision. And so it's just a pleasure and just truly a delight to be a part of it and feeling all of this energy. I've been telling my friends all about it, and hopefully they'll all get to tune in. But and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I really wish I could put you in my pocket and take you everywhere and try to introduce me and bring all that energy. Thank you. But yes, I always say I have the honor, the privilege of serving as the executive director for the North Carolina Business Council. And it does have a little bit of a unique beginning. It was started like back in 2014, real quickly, by a group of socially responsible businesses who believe in the triple bottom line, which is not only just making money, but also being a good community citizens, as well as taking care of the environment. So they believe that all three make a good business. And so they initially got together to look at ways that they could grow their community, work together, grow local businesses. But what they quickly realized is that in order to really have these successful businesses, that they needed to have a voice in shaping the laws and policies that govern our businesses. And they looked around and that just wasn't happening. And then right at that time, HB2 occurred. And I don't know if you remember that, and some other people do, but that was what they kind of call the bathroom bill. But in any case, it really disrupted our economy. A lot of people were, pulled out of the state and wasn't able to be here. And a lot of smaller and mid-sized businesses were hurt. And they really felt that there needed to be a voice out there to speak up for them and to speak up for policies that did not hurt businesses. So that was what made them decide, to create the North Carolina Business Council, to have that unique alternative voice for businesses that want to do good in the community and want to see policies that reflect their values. So I'm excited to lead businesses that care so deeply about people, places, and the planet.
Yeah. So they saw a need, a great big need, and then they feel that need. And I'm sure you guys have been able to help so many entrepreneurs through the Business Council. So I know that it's such a good feeling daily. What is different about the Business Council from other organizations? What's something that people will get from it that they won't get from other groups?
Yeah, so what I love, what makes the North Carolina Business Council unique and stand out, I guess, again, amongst other business groups, is that what drew me to it is that they do have, they speak out on issues that impact equitable economy. So they talk about and support issues that are not just about making money, but they really are about making sure that everyone has an opportunity to succeed and grow and thrive. All businesses get a chance to participate in the economy. That is not just a select few. And they have a heart for equity, diversity, and inclusion. And, there are a lot of good business groups out there. I'm not saying that there aren't, but I haven't seen any that really intentionally fight for policies that make sure that everyone is elevated and everyone has that opportunity to start their businesses, grow their businesses, and have access to all the resources that big companies have and other organizations have. So I think that's the biggest thing that businesses will get, is that it's really very, very targeted to making sure that all people are part of the process.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I see going across the bottom at the ticker, thousands of North Carolina businesses, one voice. Mm-hmm. So I love that unity, which we talk about here oftentimes, common unity. So unity is what you guys are reflecting, that one voice. And so that's so powerful. That's absolutely so powerful. So you were talking about policies, and I understand that the North Carolina Business Council just released its 2021 policy agenda, which includes a focus on small business development. Why was it important to the North Carolina Business Council to put emphasis on the small businesses?
Yes. So, clearly, what we've just gone through in the past year has really shown how vulnerable our businesses are, our small businesses and our businesses led by people of color. We knew going in that there clearly were issues with funding and access to resources. That wasn't a new thing. But I think what we learned this past year was not only is there a lack of access to funding, but there really is a lack of access to policies that help protect and sustain businesses, to make them resilient, that allow them to recover when we have a hardship. Larger companies are able or in a better position to endure some of these hardships. They have, funds that they, can access. They have access to, banking relationships that are deeply established. They have people they can pick up the phone and call to help sustain them. But our smaller companies we saw didn't have that. And what we learned and we saw that a lot of businesses didn't even have 3 months of operating cash on hand to even get through, the very early stages of this crisis. And, and that it wasn't just a few, it was a lot. And so we need to, again, money is an answer. I'm not saying that it's not, but what we are really pushing and what we believe is that it's not the only answer that needs to be addressed as we look at how we sustain our businesses going forward. And so that's why we're really excited about our agenda this year, because this time we're going to be putting forth policies that we feel that will help businesses not only when, to grow, but when there's another economic crisis, and there's always an economic crisis coming.
Yeah, that's true.
That they're in a position, and the state is in a position to support them, and that there are things in place that will not make it so difficult for them. And so, just to give, a couple of examples, I guess, is, to make, to want to have funds available to help businesses when they create jobs, to incentivize them, that when they create jobs, that some of the funding that we use to attract businesses from other places, not saying that we shouldn't do that, but we also need to have some of those funds that help businesses that are already here to grow, and give them incentives that when they hire 2, 3, 4 people, that they're also get incentives, and that we recognize and track their contribution to our economy better than what we're doing. Businesses play a huge role in our economy, a huge role. They employ over 1.7 million people in our state. Nearly half of the people employed in North Carolina work for a small business. So it's a significant contribution. And so we want to raise the voice to recognize that, to track that economic impact, and then find ways to sustain it. And the other thing that we're going to really be pushing is to make sure that we have more support, state support, for our community banks. Because what we did see at the council is that those businesses that did have those relationships with some of the smaller community banks were able to access the funding quicker, or at all in some cases, that they needed to try to sustain themselves through this. So we want to make sure that the state recognizes those community banks and support those community banks, so they can in turn support businesses and keep our economy strong.
Yeah, that's so important. Oh my gosh. Any other highlights that stand out? And as you're talking, I think about some of those small businesses that didn't make it during the pandemic. By the summer, a lot of the brick and mortars were shutting down. You see, some of your favorite places, and you ride by and it's, like a ghost town almost. And that was unfortunate. So I'm loving everything you're saying. Strategizing to sustain our businesses. What are 2 tips or ways that you would suggest, is a question. So we can come back to that if you have any other highlights that you like to share, and then any tips or ways you would suggest to sustain our businesses after that.
Yeah, I think, the second part of what we do, policy and advocating is big. And, a big part of my job is to educate businesses and explain to them why business voice matters, and how powerful the business voice is. And how we can, take part in that. And a lot of people, I understand, I'm not naive. When you're growing a business and working in a business, you've got so many things on your plate that, you think of advocating and reaching out to your state representatives. That's typically on the back burner. But I really try to stress to businesses that really needs to move further up to the front, because they're passing laws, they're making bills and making policies that impact what you're doing in your very business. And by the time we learn about it, it's done. It's already signed and sealed. And a lot of the people who are at the table making these laws and these policies are larger companies. And again, I don't have anything against larger companies, but they're looking out for their assets and their benefits. And they're not always seeing the picture where it's inclusive of all companies and all businesses. So, I go and I'm preaching to particularly our businesses led by people of color. We have to use our voice the same way we did, to vote and to get people elected. We have to continue to use our voice to make sure we have economic policies that benefit our businesses. We can't leave that to someone else, because the someone else's are looking out for themselves, and rightfully so. I can't even be mad at them, Right. But if we're not going to say nothing, they're going to just take care of themselves.
But education is always empowering, and a lot of times we, as the old saying goes, we just don't know what we don't know. So you guys are out there really helping to educate to help people to get the confidence. Because once you have the education and the information, now you can move forward with the confidence to say, hey, I do have resources. Hey, I have this, I have that available to me. But so many times we don't know. And then when we learn, sometimes we're distrusting of that because of some of the, the past rhetoric and just different things like that. When you try to apply for something, you get knocked down so many times. So I love that. Someone asked earlier, is this available to the community? And so if you want to dive into that, answer that for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the North Carolina Business Council, it is a membership-based organization. We are similar to a chamber. And, like I say, I feel that what makes us different is that, honestly, number one, I got to be really blunt. They hired a woman of color, and it was intentional because of the board really wanted this to be a diverse and inclusive business organization, statewide organization. And so a big part of what we do is to make sure that, all people are included, no matter what they look like, and all businesses are included. And, a lot of people join. And one lady, I love the way she puts it. She's my biggest salesperson, but she says, I don't have the time, Vickie, to watch what's going on down on Jones Street and watch every bill and every policy that impact my business. But I know you're out there looking out for me. And therefore, I'm going to pay my annual membership so that you can keep doing it. So what we do is that we do that. We're looking out for what's happening downtown, and we alert you. We tell our business members, this is what's happening, or here's where we can make a difference, or, you might need to sign a letter about this particular bill because this is going to hurt you, or this is going to help you. For example, healthcare, that's going to be a big discussion this legislative year. How looking at options for small business and how can we, provide affordable healthcare. I want us to know about that and have our voice in that.
Yeah, that's powerful, and that's one of the things, unfortunately, that a lot of small businesses lack, that protection with insurances and things like that. So that's really powerful that you can be a resource to be able to provide and fill in those gaps that are consistently missing, time and time again. So people can get in contact with the North Carolina Business Council through the website. Do you have any other information that you would like to share as to how to contact, and then any exciting program or anything coming up that we need to know about?
Well, yeah, so definitely you can go to our website at www.ncbusinesscouncil.org, and there, you'll have the opportunity if you want to get sign on to our newsletter, you can do that. We do give that to all of our network. We provide a lot of that information free to that network, and but members, we also give them even more in-depth reports. So we have that, but we also, as I said, our members are what we call socially responsible, sustainable businesses. So we're really excited. We got funding this year to launch our first sustainable business training program. Nice. And what that will do is that, we will be showing and teaching the principles that sustainable businesses use to, basically save money, to be good stewards in the community, to learn how to be good stewards over environment. And I always tell people, our minority and businesses led by color, they already are acting in a sustainable mode because we learn to utilize everything, and we're not wasteful by nature. We just simply can't afford to be wasteful, and we tend to really do care about our environment and how we treat our environment and how we treat our employees and people. And but what we know is that there's science and evidence that show that sustainable business, or businesses that have sustainable business practices, they last over the long haul. They tend to have longevity. They're resilient. They outperform traditional businesses over time. And there's a lot of data. And on our website, you'll see some of the business case for sustainable businesses. But there's data that show that they do outperform and they outlast. So we want to teach businesses early how to adopt these type of principles early. One of them, a lot of people will they get a little put off when I say it, but one of them is paying your employees a living wage, whatever that may be for your area. Pay them well, train them well, and it's so much cheaper to keep a good employee than it is to keep trying to hire and hire over and over again in the long run. So, people balk and say, oh, I can't afford it. And I always say, you really can't afford not to.
Exactly.
You really can't afford not to. If you get a good employee and you train them, why not invest in them and make sure that they stay with you for the long haul and build your brand? Customers know them and trust them, rather than having a different face every time they call, because people are looking for the next job and the next opportunity. So, those are the types of things that we teach and going to be sharing with our businesses. So we're really excited. We'll be going to be partnering with YBE to do some of this training. So I'm so excited about that.
Well, we are excited to have you to be a part of the YBE community. Yes, I remember you were there when the announcement was made, and you were excited behind the stage once again on this same sort of platform. Like, yes, let's go. Yep. So we are excited to partner with you. We're excited to have you today. Thank you for coming and giving us a bit of your time. It was absolutely a pleasure to highlight someone like you. Guys, didn't I tell you you were going to love her? Especially the information that she brings. So we're going to sign off. Thank you, YBE, for joining the community chat tonight. 28 days. We got some more entrepreneurs to highlight. So join us back here tomorrow at 6:30. Make sure to go to ybehub.com to join us. Get on that membership. I know why you love YBE. In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us, Ms. Vickie, as we close out, why did you want to be a part of Year of the Black Entrepreneur?
Oh my goodness. Just celebrating our businesses, our Black-owned businesses, because they are just awesome. I know there's so much talent out there, and I'm so glad that we're getting our moment to shine. And that, YBE is giving us that stage, because we've been ready. Yeah. So I love it. This is the best thing to show. And there's so many amazing businesses. And this is just exciting. It really is.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again. You guys make sure to, I think, we have something at 7 o'clock. Is that tonight, or am I off? But make sure to join us every night, the rest of this month, 28 days, 6:30, to see who's going to be featured next. What entrepreneur or resource is going to be featured next? You guys have a great evening. Thanks again, Vickie. And thanks to the YBE community. We absolutely love you. Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.